Hello students, welcome back to our next class. We will be proceeding with women development in our paper Environment and Society. I, Dr. Ghazala Bhoje, Associate Professor, GM Moment Women's College. Today we will be speaking about women's relation to development and Gandhian perspective. In the earlier video, we had spoken about Easter Bosarab and we had spoken about Maitri Krishna Raj. Now, constantly, and we are reviewing that there is a strong correlation between development, women's status, and nature. We spoke about this even in political ecology, Marxian perspectives also. Now, let us go ahead and move and elaborate more on women's relation to development. Development is seen today as a creation of condition by which the potentials of all human beings can be fulfilled. Potentials, abilities, the daily day-to-day needs. This of course includes women. However, it seems that development has not only misled women, which we saw even in the earlier videos where we spoke about the views about the capitalism, or when we spoke about Bosarab, or when we spoke about Maitri Krishna Raj, we saw that women have been misled. The status has even more deteriorated, but has also hurt and exploited them in the process. Women have come or yet to become partners in the development process. It is very important that the woman's involvement in development, in politics, in social upliftment, in empowerment is taken into consideration. Now, the literatures available on development from developing countries, especially with reference to Asia, Africa, and South America, points to important trends. The first is that disparity exists in opportunities for survival and growth between men and women. There is strong disparity, there is strong prejudice, there is strong superior inferior patriarchy existing in the society. The second, development is bringing about new forms of oppression, subordination of women. The status of women still remains secondary. She is essentially dependent, being suffering, exclusion from decision making, devaluation of her personality. Until a woman becomes financially independent, she doesn't get the power of making her own decisions of her reproductivity, of her property rights. This will definitely not lead to her better status or increase in the contribution to the development of any economy. The emancipation of women has been hindered by the so-called patriarchal society. This is seen in society's refusal to recognize women's contribution and their independent identity. Even though they being the part of economy, much of their work is not included in the definition of work. Women's work is plagued by low status, low pay, and low skills. For reasons of bias and prejudice in statistics and conceptual analysis, much of the work performed by women has been officially described as non-economic activity. As said earlier, most of their work is related to home core work, which is taken as non-paid, non-important, without any identity. A glaring discrepancy is seen in the fact that though women are the main growers, providers, distributor of food, it is the men who always receive more food than women. We always speak about a pregnant woman where the malnourishment is being many mortality rates are there in the pregnancy because of malnourishment among women. Women are excluded from ownership of land and also from access to technological development. development has yet to draw women equally into its process. The development indicators in women, what do they highlight? Women differentially affect the process of economic growth and are differentially affected by the changes brought about by this development. Conventional measures and indicators have failed to adequately capture both women's contribution to development as well as the impact that development has on women. Therefore, it is necessary to have gender sensitive development indicators. In recent years, the Human Development Index, the HDI, has become a development indicator of choice. The HDI, to speak more, has three components: adult literacy, life expectancy, purchasing power parity. Of the three, the first two are non-economic indicator. Please note that the use of HDI in ranking countries has shown the huge gap that exists between men and women everywhere, specifically more in education. The inequality of access at all level of education, that is, we can speak about primary, secondary, university, is only one aspect or one discriminating factor against women. There are many, as we can speak about earlier, like the nutrition, the violence, the right to equality in occupation, wage, etc. The World Bank report 1991 defined economic development as a sustainable increase in living standard that encompasses material consumption, education, health, and environment. The report also published 9 indicators, including the GNP, in which there was an attempt to desegregate data by sex. All other development indicators, namely education, labor, forced participation, access to health, number of seats in parliament, had data desegregated by sex over a period for 20 years of a large number of countries. By using this indicator, women were included for the first time in the parameter of development. So, the World Development Report for the first time developed the 9 indicators, which was based on desegregation by sex, that is men and women. And that is why the first time the parameters of development included a desegregation between men and women, which highlighted the indicators, development indicators like education, labor, power, forced participation, access to health, number of seats in parliament, that is the participation of women in politics. We move to another important perspective, Gandhian perspective. Gandhi's vision, Bossarab, Maitri Krishna Raj, all focuses on the overuse of nature, their resources, which indeed is leading to the lower status of women in the society. The so-called development is leading to new forms of violence in the society, which is hampering the gender equality, which the sustainable development, the millennium development, one of the goals are. Now let us look what M.K. Gandhi has to say. The earth has enough resources for a need, but not for a greed. The capitalists, as we see, for their greed are overutilizing the nature, the environment, and to make more and more profit. This is leading to what? That we are facing scarcities for almost all our basic needs just because we have ended wasting a lot more than conserving them for future. This is a selfish nature of the human being, which is giving a lot of hazardous impact on the environment. Now, in the words of Praveen Seth, he was the world's early environmentalist in vision and practice. Praveen Seth, the Eco Gandhi and economic movements. Gandhi's idea on Hind Swaraj was a signal against the erroneous model of development that would lead to consumption of resources, something the world is highly concerned about today. According to Gandhi, with industrial revolution, everything has become mechanized. Human life has become highly materialistic. One cannot deny the fact that it has led to a better standard of living by material pleasure. But what happens about nature? So it has caused a massive loss to the nature. All nations' rash and boundless pursuit of industrialization is now posing significant issues for the very existence of not only men but all living things on the planet. Mankind has given rise to environmental problems like, as we are aware, deforestation, pollution, global warming, depletion of ozone. This is all happening due to overutilization of resources and thus indeed leading to harming each and every species of on the earth. We all know the stress level which a human being is surviving with today due to the so-called concept of development, technological development, has led to many strains, many disease, a youngster dying with a heart attack or increase in the rates of diabetic patients at a very early age is come to foreseen and is a concern where medical associations are also concerned. Gandhi stated that it has become inevitable to stop causing further damage and mutilation of planet and to reduce the overconsumption so the pressure on the environmental resources can be reduced at global level. And here comes the concept of green economy, carbon footprints, etc. According to Gandhi, development definitely should not mean increased consumerism and materialism. In fact, the word development should coincide with the words like or with the procedures like or the feelings like self-realization, growth of non-violence, increased morality. For him, materialism was a hurdle for self-realization as it only increased greed, the need for profit, the need for just satisfying one's own desires. The growth of egoism has also led to this. Gandhi was heavily impacted by Adolf Just's book, Return to Nature, which solidified his belief that if a human wishes to be happy and live a fulfilled life, he must share it with all living beings, including birds, animals, plants, and the environment in general. What humans receive from nature must be repaid back to the nature. He despised any form of violence directed towards animal or any other life forms. Gandhi's understanding of the interconnectedness of all life was articulated in this way. I do believe that all God's creatures have the right to live as we have. So Gandhi said we need to respect and give equal justice, equality to all the creatures on the earth that God has created. He wrote this in Harijan 1937. Gandhi was unquestionably a visionary who foresaw, who saw the future, the problems, the negative effects, the demerits associated with modernity and industrialization. He was an early critic of modern industrial civilization, dehumanizing aspect. The rediscovery of Gandhi's warning of industrialists or perish must be considered in the perspective of new value orientation and the fight for human existence endangered by environmental and ecological crises. Therefore, we need to take into consideration the visions given by the earlier environmentalists, earlier sociologists, earlier social activists that there is a strong correlation between development, nature, woman, upbringing, empowerment, etc. Let us summarize. Both the gender perspective and Gandhian perspective on development focuses on how the process of development has led to oppression and exploitation of nature. Women being close to nature are affected significantly due to its exploitation. Only if development helps and contributes to the well-being of all the genders, it can be seen as beneficial and profitable to nature, woman, and in true sense there will be development in all. Urbanization and modernization has killed village life, and we know majority of the population in India is living in village life, led to mass migration, making the urban areas congested, leading to pollution, thus harming nature. Gandhi opposes industrialization where machine rules over mankind, rendering millions jobless and creating a struggle for survival by harming nature. This is highly relevant in today's world where we have forgotten the importance of nature and by ourselves have contributed to the disasters that are threatening the entire ecosystem. So, we being or the present, your being the future generation, we being the part of the society needs to look into the actual development. We should look into how we protect our nature, how we contribute to the ecological sustenance and indeed lead to the true empowerment of women. Thank you so much. I see you in the next class with the next unit. Thank you, students. Good day.